to another episode of XML Serialization. This is going to be completed this episode. So we're going to do a few more things for UI. For some reason it's having complaints. Oh, dot monsters, that should be it. Just checking. Yeah, that's it. There we go, that was an error. It should all be working now. So we'll have a quick look. Check there's no errors. Let's try this. So no music accidentally starts playing. Okay, now we want to create a few buttons. We're going to call this button new, or yeah, we'll have new. Call this new. Obviously, we'll have remove. We'll do the remove script in a second. We'll have left, and we'll have right. And we'll also have save. Now save's gonna be one down like this. Move's gonna be at the very bottom. Left's obviously gonna be, we could have it like left like this. And right, we can obviously have like this. That works quite nicely. Push these down a bit, just a tiny bit. I know it kind of mucks with things, but it makes things look nice. Now let's make a few changes. We can say right. Make it say left. Make it say save. And make it say move. One other thing we need is obviously somehow to put our saving scripts. I'm just going to put it on our main camera, it doesn't really matter. And how many data do we have? Well, we can look here, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5. And we're just going to drag those in. Well, first we got to place our data scripts, and then for each one you have to make sure that it's the right one. This is the annoying part. You can obviously have a little thing that maybe looks in the children for it. That's quite easy to do, but I find that sometimes it doesn't always do it how you want it, and I think sometimes it's better just to do this. XP, name, HP, scary. And type. Since I mean you're doing types anything anyway, so why not? By the way, it doesn't matter what order you put them in, so don't worry about that, since it just goes through each one by one. And the visual display index, that's like really fancy for text that displays. Like really fancy. It's just here, I can call it index. Like maybe too fancy. Oh well. Let's just go through it. Here we go. So we got mode load months left, right. Save. I'm just checking for my other script, checking I've got everything right. Load monster, amount equals that. Okay, new monster, that's fine. And since we load it, we'll update the amount anyway. However, when we remove a monster, we won't update the amount. Actually, we should be updating amount, but it doesn't always update it nicely, because if it's obviously if the amount is equal to 0, we want to, if it's less than 0, obviously, I'll explain in a second, just don't worry. Okay, a file.exists of path.combine of application.datapath. And the difference between, by the way, of application.datapath and persistent datapath is persistent's like my documents, so that's very useful for saves, whereas the datapath is where it's actually located. So datapath would go from I did not mean to do that. Can't. There we go. No, I didn't mean that. Damn it. Really? Here we go. It would go here, and this is where it finds it and goes, hey, XML, here we go. Yeah, thing. So this is basically the assets folder is where it is, but Yeah, so that's the data path that's looking for. Anyway, let's do XML. If the file exists, then it's going to do all this stuff, otherwise it's not. Because if the file doesn't exist, then obviously how can you move something that didn't exist in the first place? Obviously do the same thing. This is where you do this a bunch of times. I don't mind repeating it a few times, so I will do that. But obviously you can just copy and paste if you want to. We want to move at the current index. Make sure you move at the current index. And then we're going to delete the file, and then we're going to save, which actually we don't need to do anymore. We can just save, because that will overwrite the file. But if you weren't overwriting the file, you have to delete the file and redo it, otherwise there can be problems. Well, since we're saving it, right, we probably could just keep using it instead of having to load. We're actually going to change this up. There's no need to save right now. .monsters.count -1. So essentially, our current index is too big, then we can count index minus. However, if that makes our current index less than 0, that means that, well, we can conclude from this that, actually we don't need a thing here. So if we've just -1, right, from there that we can conclude that our index obviously had to be 0, meaning that we only had one object in the library now, and now we have 0 and -1 objects, and obviously we can't have -1 objects. So to compensate for this, we reset the current index to 0. We do also, we add a new monster, so xml.monsters.add a new monster, and then we check, hey, well, if amount is greater than 1, then amount minus. So if the amount is 1, then we don't want a minus because obviously we just added 1. So basically, that's how it works. Then we want a load monster of the current index. But before we do that, we also want to save. So we're just going to make sure we go xml.save. And that means that we're only doing one of these path stock, we're only doing one of these loadings. So we actually completely basically optimized a lot of my code. Just what happens all the time. We have path.combine of application.datapath and monsters.xml, just check that's spelling it right. There we go. Pretty easy. And then we load the monster in. I would say that's basically it. There's nothing else I could really think of. Pretty sure I have everything. Yes, and I got XML Serialization and the monster fully done. Are you ready to see something? Yeah, I am. And all we need is to just set up these buttons. And this is going to be our new button, so we get a new monster. This is going to be our remove button, so obviously we're going to remove the current monster that's selected. Move monster. Move left one. And load right one. I suppose we got a save function here. We're also going to have one more application that I didn't have before, or like one more thing, is good void on application quit. So when you quit the application, it's going to instantly go, hey, okay, well, we probably should save. So this is going to save everything. So save monster. Even though we did this, we could probably just save anyway, but well. Okay. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Operation do it. Oh, here we go. What did I do wrong here? What? Okay, am I the only one that's seeing how weird this is? Oh, apparently I'm converting the monster name to string. In the other one. If this fixes it, I'm going to be so completely confused. What? Really, you gonna do this? As soon as it does this, you have to reopen the program. We don't need you anymore. So we're gonna reopen you, resync. Here we go, it's fully working. We're on index 101. It's start entering name. We've got Bob. He's got 10 HP. He's gonna be still. He's got 20. That's XP, and he's quite scary. And by the way, it looks a bit foggy because Pixel Perfect isn't on. I'll turn that on in a second, but if we do that, you can see it looks a lot better now. We're gonna save it. We're gonna create a new character. We're gonna call him. Okay, that's weird. For some reason, when we're okay, the monster, right? This should work. Oh, it's save once that's probably doing it. That should work. Oh, it may be this. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Okay, let's just open this up and see. Bob name. No, cancel. Bob name is Bob. Go away. Go away, please. Thank you. There we go. Once fighting hit points equals 10. Scary drop equals 92.5. True, true. Apparently his name doesn't exist. I actually thought I'd change his name. Jim. Fred. I'm just gonna prep a new mod develop and see what, because this really shouldn't be happening. There's no reason for it to happen. The thing is, like, it's perfect. I'm looking right now and there's literally no difference. I can copy and paste it across, right? What's the error? So I'll send to an instance of an object. Should be. The input field and the output field. Input field, output field. Oh, I know why. You need a public monster. And say monster type equals none. Monster name equals nothing. Monster HP equals 0. Monster XP equals 0. Monster scariness equals false. And that's it. That could be it. For some reason I want a literal there. There we go. It's just because we didn't have a default one. So now if I open this up, you'll see that we have nothing. And because I didn't have a default, it was literally set into null. And because strings can be null, can they? I didn't feel strings could be null. I didn't feel string was a nullable type. Regardless, yeah, string isn't a nullable type. Regardless, it must have somehow had a mix-up. And the system was regarding it as a nullable type, I believe. I can't remember what the error was. I think it was a nullable type. So it meant that that's why there was an error. So make sure you do that. Now, this obviously is quite. It's more readable than normal, but it's not too readable, right? But if I show you in the editor, there's better XML editors, by the way, but this is pretty decent. You can easily see how we got our monster here, and can we even name him? No, it can't. Oh, we can name him here, obviously. And we can see if we made this like really big, we can say, oh, his visual monster name. Oh, he's gonna be Bob, yes. Fine hit points, yeah, he's scary, okay. Got a new guy, his name's gonna be Jim. Typoing him. He's got 20 hit points. He's not so scary because he's only, because he only drops like 10 HP, so no one really scares. He's 10 XP, so no one's really scary. I don't know. He's poison. We got another guy who's fire. By the way, it doesn't really matter how you spell it. It shouldn't, at least. Visual monster name, oh, Fred, yes, Fred, that's right. His name, he's got 100 HP this time, though. And he's got that lot of XP. And he's very scary. We got Cow, who's got a bunch of hit points, but only 1 experience. And he's very scary. I don't know. And he's grass. We got Ice Queen. Remember, spaces are fine. Or spaces may be fine. Yeah, spaces are fine. Yeah. I was pretty sure spaces were fine, but I was like, oh, because it's a alt type edit. And she's falsely scary, and she's an ice. We've got another one, bookworm. Grenadier. He's got 50 this. He's true, I guess, and he's fire. We've done fire, water. I even know what else there's. There's ground and there's. That's it. So this last monster, he doesn't exist anymore because we only have ground. I call it fighting type, but even have fighting in there, so I don't know. I kind of feel bad for that. There's quite a few trues and falses. There's actually a lot more trues than falses, so we'll make this guy false. We'll call him Earth Demon. Demon. We do like special E's? No. Can't do special EA. We'll give him AD this. And we'll give him like that. Now if we save, we see that this changed by quite a bit. Now if we run this, still is not a valid type. Oh, it didn't. It should have ignored the caps. Well, when we load in weapons, we tell each one to load changes. I see. Yeah. So we'll just do. Can we ignore caps? Sometimes you can. Oh well, we will just make the few changes. Let's see, this is quite difficult to do, but it's more annoying to do. If you really wanted to allow them to have capitals, there's a few things you could do. One of the simple things that you could do is, you see, we'll just go through this and show you. Pretty cool, right? Oh, we damn it, could have one too many. Best move. Apparently move doesn't work. But we did change a move, so we're just gonna look at that and see what we did. We did something to it. Yes, if I exist. Alt monsters. That's pretty important. See, make sure you don't spell it wrong. Ta-da. Okay, we asked, as I was saying, very, very simply, we can obviously do this, and if we go back in, it will save it. Thank goodness. But yeah, so that's basically, it's very useful for many games when you want players to have some degree of control in your game, and I hope that you find this useful. I may do a few more tutorials like this, going to XML, going to string, stuff like that. Some pretty interesting stuff, and you can do many things with XML. XML is really, really cool. It's something that you kind of have to build your project around to a certain degree, because I mean, well, this obviously isn't really building a project around, but having monster serializers, you know, having lists of monsters and stuff, that's, you really have to build your whole thing around that, right? So you gotta make sure that you take that in mind, and that, especially when you're saving and loading, a lot of these times, these can be added at the end, but just make sure that you have in your head that you're gonna use it. So at least you try to do to a certain degree to allow it. I definitely don't suggest it to use XML at the start, unless it's really necessary. It's just, you know, you look at it, you go, this is going to be too much work for me to redo it, because if you do it at the start, a lot of times for your XML files, it means that you will change things a lot, and having to constantly go through the XML files and constantly add, you know, 100 people just because you made a small change is really annoying, right? So I'd honestly rather just have like a short you know, little array thing that randomly does things, rather than having to have an XML file that I constantly have to change over and over again. I constantly have to build these XML files, all that stuff. It's just too much work sometimes, so sometimes it's easier just to do that. But definitely XML is really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I won't have this in the description anywhere, but I mean, if you want it, I guess I'll upload it. Guys, thanks guys for watching. See you guys next time.